He never gave away any names of those who were part of his network. But nor did he tell his congregants for those people who had spied on him or who were the lackeys of the security branch, because he knew the type of what would happen if people take revenge. So in a sense, he protected everyone, and partly because he kept his word. He was indeed an honorable individual.
For many decades, waiting for an outcome or justice in a way for the slain and tortured Imam Haron. Today marks an important day for the community, the family.
Today has uncovered an historic moment, not only in the lives of us as the Haron family, but also in the lives of all those apartheid victims' family members that are still around and waiting for justice. For today, I say we stand tall on the shoulders of our martyrs. We are giving hope to the hopeless. We are there to support. We've got to support from our own community as well as the broader community. But it's more importantly, what are we going to do now going on in terms of the overturning of the 1970 inquest? The important thing is we need to draw lessons from the embodiment of the life of my father.
In the court this morning, we had a wonderful verdict, a judgment that says overturn the 1970 inquest into the death of the Imam Haron, and it confirms that Imam Haron was tortured to death. So we now know that he is a shaheed, he is a martyr. It's also, the historical record is there now in the history of South Africa. But more importantly, it also provided some form, a little bit of modest healing for the family, you know. And also another significance, it opens up the door for so many other cases, so many other victims of families of loved ones who may have been killed in apartheid detention, but you know they were given the same story, fell from the stairs, so it opens up the door for more other cases.
For me, you know, it does bring closure, but having covered the Imam Haron story for close to 40 years, you know, when I joined the paper in 1975, it was sort of, while there was closure, you know, there's still an emptiness around it.
Yes.
And the emptiness is that, you know, through the years that you covered the story, you found villains, you know, as part of the story, you know, and they will not be directly held accountable. But I think just in terms of the fact that Imam Haron, the judgment was quite clear today that Imam Haron was killed. Those who doubted, you know, and who challenged Muslim news at that time for using the term ash-shaheed, I think this has confirmed that he was indeed a shaheed. He didn't die of some natural causes. He was killed because he refused to step back in the face of justice and for the cause of truth.
I was in court this morning, and when the judge made the finding, I think it was actually quite heartbreaking, because you had to relive all that moments that Imam Haron went through, and as he pieced everything through, from the lies that was exposed and the emotions that was felt, and noting that the family is in court and the court is full, and what Imam Haron went through in those last moments and those last days, and how he was denied basic rights, from medical to, you know, the torture that he had suffered, and also the way the judge explained the type of tortures that had happened back in those days.
This judgment ought to be welcomed. I think it's a step in the right direction. It confirms the fact that the apartheid government killed Imam Haron. And the message is quite clear to all apartheid apologists, including in our current day and age, and even in our own community, that the apartheid government has got blood on its hands. And I think this should inspire us to ensure that we move with a much faster pace to address the practical legacies of apartheid.
As a family, it has brought some kind of closure, partly closure, one would say, in terms of putting our our thoughts at ease, because we knew as a family anyway, our father just didn't die of a heart attack by falling down a few steps, but he was brutally tortured to death. But today the record has been put straight. It is now on record.
It's a huge thing for the Muslim community. You know, here we have someone who gave his life for the kind of democracy and the open society that we have.
The other aspects were the medical practitioners, the people that are entrusted to serve medically, and what they had done. You have to listen to the whole finding, which is live broadcast done this morning, to understand the emotions that one would feel and the understanding that goes with regard to the death of Imam Haron.
We can draw from him as an inspirational man, somebody who inspires us, who had left lessons for us, who demonstrated how to basically live his life within a secular environment, predominantly non-Muslim environment, and yet being able to reach the top, so to speak. The top in terms of spirituality, the top in terms of serving his community, and demonstrating what it is to be a leader.
The National Prosecuting Authority perhaps has much more work to continue in finalizing some of the matters around the issue. But I think for the community, for the family, for the associates and the friends, that today was a momentous day in finally finding and putting to record that which was the truth.